Hello guys. Welcome to the video. I'm gonna be doing the 15-day cash game challenge by Jonathan Little. Um, so yeah, it's got 15 days challenge. This is a free version of it. You get the 3 days for free, and but it says here I have day 4 unlocked as well. So I'm not actually sure how long or how much free stuff I can get from this. But if this is free for a whole day, for the whole 15 days, I might as well do it. So this is for the low stakes, small stakes here. Most likely like 1 2, 1 3. I'm not really a 1 2 kind of player. I'm more of a micro stakes guy. So this doesn't really apply to me, but as a study, um, as a GTO foundation, this applies for everyone really. So yeah, so I'm gonna try and do this for the whole 15 days if I'm able to. If not, yeah, why not? We can make into a review if I'm not able to play this for a whole 15 days. So yeah. So let's I have played this for a bit now. I played the first 3 days. But I'm gonna start from the start again because just in case I don't get the whole 15 days, at least I have a archive of it, so I can essentially go back to it and study, I guess. But yeah, it's a challenge too. So if you wanna do it, just go to Poker Coaching by Jonathan Little and make an account, and you should be good to go. All right, let's start from the start.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jonathan Little, and I'm very
Hello,
excited to
Jonathan
present to
Little.
you our 15-day cash game challenge. This challenge is designed to help you substantially increase your cash game skills in only 15 days. Every day, we're going to be sending you something new to study or train on pokercoaching.com or Peak GTO. And if you go through this process, you're going to get a whole lot better at cash games. And also, you are going to fix your biggest leaks. On the very first day of the challenge, you are going to go through an assessment where you're just going to play through some hands in the Peak GTO trainer. And then on the second day, we are going to direct you to some drills to help you plug the leaks that you demonstrated that you have by going through the first assessment. Also, we're going to be doing things like discussing exploitative preflop plays you need to be using in cash games, because quite often in cash games, your opponents are playing nowhere near GTO. We're also going to be discussing how to take advantage of the common mistakes people make, like open limping. A lot of people struggle playing against open limpers, but you're going to be drilling exactly how to play that exact spot. We're also going to be discussing how you can generally increase your levels of aggression so that you are winning far more pots that don't belong to you and everyone just has nothing. When everyone has nothing, it usually only takes one or two bets to win it. And if you're the person willing to do that, you are going to be picking up a lot of small pots that you would likely otherwise not. We're also going to be discussing how to get full value from your good, strong made hands. This is something a lot of cash game players fail to do because they are worried about getting check raised. But quite often, people do not raise or check raise nearly often enough. And that allows you to simply bet and get money in the pot with your good hands with little fear of actually having to fold it. So we're going to be discussing how to increase your levels of aggression and especially how to get full value when you actually do make a good hand. And then finally, after all 15 days, you're going to go through and take another assessment. And if you have studied hard, practiced hard, and paid attention, you're going to see that you actually play a whole lot better poker after only 15 days. So stick with it. Make sure you get through these 15 days, and your cash game skills are going to increase a bunch. I hope you enjoy it.
Cool. So that was the introduction. Let's go to day 1. and it also shows the complete the cash game leak finder. So guys, you got the topics, and it'll show you the things that you need to do, which is super cool, which simplifies studying. So that's a nice feature they have. It's it poker coaching and peak GTOs integrated in one. So that's super nice to access.
Welcome to day one of the 15-day cash game challenge. Today, you're going to be going through our cash game leak finder. We're going to play through some hands using the Peak GTO trainer, and you are trying to simply make the best play against a good, strong opponent. And what's going to happen after this is we are going to be able to figure out, based on your answers, where your poker skills are lacking. Quite often, people don't even know where they're messing up in poker because they're oblivious to it. And this assessment is going to make sure that you are aware of the mistakes you are making, because throughout the rest of this cash game challenge, we are going to be plugging whatever leaks you have. So go through the assessment, take it very seriously, and do your best.
Cool. All right. Let's do the cash game leak finder. Now I have played it, so it will show you. It will say that I have done it, but I'm pretty sure you can reset it. And this one is showing, but this wasn't like try hard mode. You know, I wasn't trying hard to play GTO. I was more so playing my hands rather than my range. So I wasn't playing GTO at all. So I want to restart, which there is a button that I saw last time. Where is it? I know you can do it because I saw it somewhere. Where was it? Street maybe. Additional quizzes. There we go. Reset progress. Okay. So let's start the quiz. And let's see how well we do. So we get 27 hands that we can play. Skill assessment. Next is cutoff versus the big blind. This is a cash game. Alright. King 7 suited on the cutoff with 100 big blinds. That's a raise for me. And Jonathan Little likes his um 3 bets. 3 bets. He's open raising with 3 big blinds instead of 2.5, which what I'm used to, which is 2.5. So this is a bit more risky for me. The way he plays, or the way he prefers you to play in a way. Okay, with an ace of spades, nine of diamonds, and eight of spades flop. So I'm not sure what you would call, but right now it's an ace high board. I'm in the cutoff against a big blind. 6.5 big blinds in the pot, and the game wants me to either bet 2 big blinds, 4.6 big blinds, or a check. And the cutoff position. Now, I would usually just check because I don't have anything. Which that's what I would do usually if I was playing my hand. But GTO, you don't do that, surprisingly, which is not my forte. So I do have a surface level idea of what GTO is, but I can never apply it very well. That's why I don't do GTO. I just play what my hands are. But I do want to try. Okay, with a 6.5 big blinds. Mm, I don't really want to bet too big. So let's say a small bet. Okay, it wants me to bet big. So made a mistake already. I guess he called. Checks on the turn. Okay, let's pretend I did make the right decision. I made it big. 6.4. I think it should show here. Move that out of the way. Um, Raise, call, go, bet. How much did I bet here? Okay, it doesn't show how much I bet. Okay, whatever. That's fine, I guess. Alright. King 7 suited. 6 of hearts. On the turn. That was... Nah, I don't. 9, 8, 7, 6. Oh, no, I do. No, I don't. That's 4 cards, right? Okay, I need a 5 or a 10. So I'm the GTO is probably gonna want me to keep betting, right? For as a semi bluff, I think you'd say it. So I bet big. I'd probably bet big again. Oh shoot, bet even bigger. Okay, so he wants me to 100% pot size it. That is risky for me. I am not used to that. Okay, so I'm not winning in showdown, so GTO probably wants me to bet once more. Make the triple barrel bluff. Probably here. He wants me to go all in. Oh my goodness, bro. I'm never doing this, bro. He called me with ace 10, bro. Come on, cuz. He called me with ace 10, bro. This is why I don't like GTO. It just... Why would... That's crazy, bro. That guy just called me with ace 10. And that's why I don't play GTO. Oh my goodness, bro. After that, I'm like, okay, I'm definitely gonna record this. Because, like, how do you play GTO, man? That mouthful just called ace 10. In a... However how much that was. Two times the pot. All in. That's crazy. No, that wasn't even 2 times. That was like... It was 40 and I have like 60 left or something. I can't even remember. That's crazy. Alright. Under the gun. It's 8 plus right. 2, 4, 6. Okay. Raise 3. Huh? Fold? What? Did you see that? Did you see that? I raised it and it said I should fold? Was that correct? I can't go back to it, so I can't see it, what it said. But I'm pretty sure that said I should have folded that. Okay, and the button. I mean, I'm out of position. I would check. But no, it wants me to bet small. Which I understand. You want to see bet, but like, come on, man. Queen 9 deuce with 2 spades. Like, that's like a good ass flop for the button. Button calling range. Okay, now Jack. That's even... That's like... That's even like worse for me at this point. Yeah, someone's like, no, it's not. No, it's not. You want to bet 2 points because the Queen 9 deuce is actually your range. Like, I'm not. I don't know how to play range, bro. This is why I'm doing the 15-day challenge. But whatever. Let's just keep going. But it's on the button though. Come on, man. What is he calling with button? Soon as connector maybe. But come on. Yes. He got Queen X calling range. Um, like now what? I bet small on the flop. Now what am I supposed to do betting small? Like I can't just check because I just put in 2.2 big blinds into the pot. I bet smaller again. Now he wants me to check betting small on the flop. I don't understand GTO, bruh. Okay, Bond is checking though. Wow, a bit big. Like as a bluff, you would overbet, right? Against the big button. Right, ace, king, king 10. But why would he call? Why would he call the 2.2 on the flop? Yeah, with on that flop, why would he call 2.2? So what is he calling with? A spade? A spade draw? I checked on the turn. Checks back. Now a spade comes. Mm. Would he be calling with like ace X, maybe, or jack X? Jack 10 maybe on the button? Jack 10 suited? I don't know, maybe. Mm. Ah. Um. If I check back and he bets, I'm just gonna fold. Check fold. If I bet small, that's not really doing anything. He's gonna think it's a blocker bet, so he's just either if he has the best hand, he's just gonna bet on top of me. Or if he has the best hand, he just call. If I bet bigger, that just polarized me, I guess. Mm, man, this one's tough. I don't really know. Under the gun versus ball and RFI. What's RFI? Raise first in. I think that's what it said. That's what it means. No ante. There's zero antes here. No ante means um you can play tighter against an ante where you have to play. No, I think with an ante you kind of want to play more aggressively, right? Because you're constantly paying the ante. So maybe you'd play more aggressively. Here you probably wouldn't. Mm, mm. Oh my god, I can't decide, bro. This is crazy. So if I check and he checks back, if I check and he checks back, I mean I'm supposed to be going up against a good player, right? Good player, let's say, or a decently good player. So this is not gonna go check check. So I can't really check at this point. I just have to bet as a bluff. Cause come on, man, a seven is never good. Um, but what is he calling 2.2 with though? Can he be calling it with a nine? Queen 10? King 10 of spades, maybe? But nah, you can't call with King 10. I mean, with a spade, maybe, but there's an ace of spades there, so he doesn't have the nut flush anymore. I mean, I'm not saying he can't. No, no. Actually, no. I am saying he can't have the ace, the nut flush anymore, because there's only four aces on the deck, and one of them is only a spade. So king ten of spades maybe. I have a seven of spades in my hand. Oh, this is just a second hand. That's crazy. Um, this is crazy. This is why I shouldn't be in this hand, bro. Like, oh no, actually no, I raised it, right? Seven on the seven. I did raise it. That's why I wanted to check out of position to see where I'm at, but now I'm like kind of stuck here now. So I either bet big or not bet at all. Because what am I doing with betting small? I can bet pot. Um, I guess I can just bet pot. Semi big. Yeah, I guess I can bet pot. No, actually, no. You're not supposed to bet pot. You're supposed to overbet. Whatever. I've never done. That guy had ace queen. What? What? That guy had ace queen at hearts. What? He called on the button, right? He didn't three bet or anything. He didn't three bet the ace queen on the button. I guess you would wanna play. You wanna have pot control on the button. I guess. I guess. Ah, but what happens if it's king and a 10? Like, um, so if there's a king on the board, you just wanna call that. If it has, there's no hearts in there, you just fold. Oh man, I don't know cash, bro. I'm gonna turn them. I mean, I don't know. I'm not good poker player. Okay, fold that, right? I'm gonna fold that. Okay. Okay, so GTO is not that stupid, but like ace four offsuit, yeah, that's a call. That's a defend. That's crazy. Okay. Now, if I know this guy, I would definitely raise this. I would definitely raise it, but I'm going up against someone who's somewhat good. He's in the cutoff though, so he's gonna play a bit wider. So you call or you wanna? Yeah, I would either go between a three bet or a fold. I don't really like playing out of position with King Jack suited. Now King Jack suited is pretty good though, but like the way I play, I would usually just fold this or raise it myself. But if I just three bet this, now what? If it just four bets me, I'm like stuck. I'm like, oh frick. What? Now I fold? But I do want to play GTO. Try my best playing as GTO, as close to GTO as I can. Uh, so I guess I would probably three bet this, right? Yep, 100% three bet. Out of position, King Jack suited. I mean, it's good, man. I'm not saying it's not good, but like, oh, now there's an ace, King six, rainbow. You know, two two high cards in a low card. I hit the king. So now what? Out of position. Well, I just check. Nope, I'm supposed to bet like small. No, no. Yeah, like 33%, I guess. It's about 33%, right? 25, 10, 20. Maybe a bit less than 33%. Okay, so now do I check? Now do I check? Okay, now I check. But it looked like I could bet that one also. Yeah, now I check. Okay, I made two pair now. Now I gotta bet big now, right? Yeah, it's like I bet 22. Now it wants me to bet pot size. Yeah, it wants. I've never made pot size bets before. I've always been between 33, 50, and 66%. That's like, those are like the average ones I can do. Oh, I've done. Makes things so much easier for me. I don't have to decide a specific amount, which is probably not a good idea. But if you're learning, it's basic stuff. Okay. Hijack versus cutoff. Ace jack off suit. Now, I would like, no, I mean, again, if you're going up against anyone but a robot, who's trying to play as GTO as they can, you would just fold this. But nobody's ever playing GTO, so you wouldn't fold this. But like, watch this. Like, bruh, you see what I'm talking about? GTO is hard to apply into real games, and that's how I lose a lot of money playing trying to apply GTO into live games, and it's never a good. Like, it's never good. But as a study, it's good. Like H3 suited, yeah, yeah, it's suited, but I would fold that. But it wants me to call. You see the flaw that you're saying from GTO. It's good. It's good to know these things, but what against the hijack pawn defense? Like, come on, bruh. This is how I lost. This is why I'm a losing player. Cause trying to apply GTO, like, come on, man. Come on, cut. That's why I prefer playing my hand rather than the range. My range, because it's just doesn't it doesn't apply to real games that well. Okay, big blind. You'd wanna bet it, right? I have a up and down or a gut shot, I'd say. So I'll probably bet like big. So if I do hit it, I get like max value. Oh, even bigger. Like, come on, man. Even bigger. That's crazy. He calls and I hit the ace. Now, do I check? No, he's still betting. Oh my goodness. I've got showdown value, right? Ace high. I've on a pair of aces. A pair of aces. Showdown value, right? That's a showdown value, right? Even GTO? I guess not. Still betting. Okay, race 3. Yeah, I swear that pocket 7s was a fold. I'm pretty sure I saw it was a fold. 100% fold. But it still made me play it. 10-6-4 rainbow. Like, you'd keep betting, right? You'd keep betting, right? Let's make it small. Nope, it's a check apparently. It's a check. Yeah. He's not betting that, bro. He's checking back. Like, you just lost value on the flop. So now you bet small or like half pot, I guess. You overbet. Why are you overbetting? Man, I don't understand GTO. So you checked on the flop, but overbet on the turn. I don't get it. Okay, now I just hit the set, but there's a spade there now. Like, what am I supposed to do now? So you checked on the flop. You gave a spade draw. You give 10. You give maybe a 10-10. No, you a set of tens would better, right? 10-9, you give 10-9 free card. But he overbetting on the turn with a spade though. He did, yeah, he did go the overbet, like massive overbet. There's 7 big blinds into the pot, and he made it like he called the 11, 12 big blinds. Ah, why you bet smaller? Okay, you do bet a bit smaller. So if he raises it, you just fold. Jack, why what? Jack 10 suited. Wait, what? Did he have a gut shot? Did he have a gut shot? I don't even. Man, you should be able to see the like. You should be able to go back and see these things. Yeah, you should be able to see it. I don't know why it doesn't let you see it. They gotta fix that. Raise 3. So you'd better, right? Nope. Nope. You check. You check. So sometimes you wanna check out of position. Sometimes you wanna bet out of position. Like, what is it, What is it, mofo? Do you wanna bet out of position or check out of position? Like, come on, man, make a decision. Like, I don't get it, bruh. So you'd raise it, right? You bet small. I mean, unless you want to make him like keep betting into you. I mean, there's not really much of a scare card. A 10 of spades. Now that's a scare card. That's probably the best turn he'll get. Probably gonna check. Yep. Okay, he didn't get there. Now you want a bit small. A bit bigger. Okay. Yeah, you want a bit on a smaller-ish size, but not too small where he can just call with anything. Yeah, he called with ace 4. I don't even know if I won that. Pretty sure there was no 4 on the board, so. Queen 10 diamonds, I'd fold this. Again, but. Probably wants me to call. Yeah, like I said, suspect that he wants me to call, and 7% want to raise this. But it's 2.2. Have a gut shot, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I need. Yeah, gut shot. I need it. I don't know. Ace, up and down straight. Like a semi bluff. Bit big. Okay, I was gonna go for that one and I did it. I don't know why. Because I don't know sizing, I guess. Okay, so I got there with the straight. Now do I wanna I'd wanna go all in, right? Okay, let's make a pot. Yep, all in. Ace king. Nice. Dang, bro. What did he do? I called on the button, I think it was. Then he bets 2.2. I called. He bets. Now he checks on the turn. He checks on the turn. I bet. Pot size, I'm pretty sure. And then all in the river. With ace king. Hmm. Yeah, I'm probably. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking it in a tournament style of game play where you don't really want to give them free cards, but at the same time, you don't want you don't want them. Uh, yeah, I'm in between value betting and like not giving them free cards. I don't know. It's hard to say. 10-8 suited probably wants me to call. Yep, against under gun defense. 10-8 suited, bro. Like against an under the gun defense. Like what? Like, bro, like look how big that size is. That's like that's what I would do. Yeah, that's what I would do right there. That size. But I defended with 10-8. What the heck? What am I supposed to do? Call? Nope. It wants me to fold. So the game wants me to call. I defend with 10-8 suited on the big blind. Hit the flop, then fold. Bruh. Fold. It wants me to call 5-4 suited against a 3 bet. This is why I lost the pretty shot. This is where I just tilted. Like, what? Like, what? Now it wants me to. I'm probably gonna call that. I think there's a 5 on the turn. No, it's an ace. Like, what am I calling? A 3 bet. So I open, 3 bet, call. He bets big again. It doesn't show how big it is. So you can't even go back to it. That's so stupid. Like, it doesn't show you the size of it. It's so stupid, bro. Whatever. Probably just gonna check, right? No, it wants me to bet big, hella big. There's an ace of hearts there, bro. What? What was I bluffing there? There's an ace high of flush there. Got scared by the hearts, maybe? Like, oh man, I don't understand GTO, bruh. I really don't understand GTO. And I tried playing like GTO. And I lost all my money, essentially. And yeah, you're probably saying, oh, you just don't know how to do it properly. Like, no, it's just not how you play poker. You just don't play poker like this, man. You don't play it like a robot, you know? But I understand, as a study foundation, yes, you should know these. You should know how to play GTO. But you shouldn't be telling people, oh, GTO, GTO, GTO. Because people wouldn't know how to play GTO properly. Yeah, it's a fold. Whatever. Whatever, it's a fold. Oh, we got our first limp. Now on the bond, I'd still raise it with 4.5. King Queen suited against a limp. Now that's, yeah, I'm comfortable with that against a limp. Then bet bigger, 7.5. No, it wants me to bet smaller. See, that's a good range for me. See, when I'm at the bit smaller again. No, now it wants me to check. Didn't I just hit it straight? No, I haven't. I need a 9 or an ace. Oh, I got it. Now bigger? Nope, too big. Oh, I made it pot size. Okay, now. No, I was got. Yeah, that's pretty average. Ace 10. I have no idea what that guy was doing. Like, you have ace 10. You essentially have the nuts in that point of time. But no, you give me the chance to get free cards, a bunch of free cards. Like, I don't understand it. Why is GTO scared of like denying equity? Instead of denying equity, they give them extra equity, you know. Um, Bet small. Now he wants me to check. Oh my god, I don't understand, bro. Is it because it's a 3 bet or is it because of the board? Like, what am I doing here? Am I playing the board? Am I playing the size of the freaking pot? What is it? Check again. If he checks this, I have the best hand, right? So bet small, half pot. No, I check again. He's never checking back. I guess he does. I guess he does. I'm surprised GTO would have checked back there. I thought GTO would be like, oh nah, bet that because you ain't winning no more. No. Okay, bet small. Okay, now I want to bet big. Bro, what the hell is this, bruh? So before you want to bet small, but now you want to bet bigger. Like, what the heck is it? Like, when do you make these decisions to when to bet big or bet smaller? This is. Okay, now you want to keep betting big, right? Pot size bet. Okay. So when you bet big, you want to keep betting big. If you bet small, you want to keep betting small. Um, King. Okay, you wanted to go all in. Okay, whatever. That's bet small. Nope, it wants me to check. Oh, now he overbets and I heck no. Anytime I see an overbet, I just fold. Doesn't matter if I'm trying to play GTO or just playing normally. I'd never call that. You raise aces, right? Yeah, if it tells me to not call with aces, I'm gonna lose my mind. It wants me to check, I bet you. Nope, it wants me to bet. Ah, okay. That makes more sense. Even if it's for smaller size, you know. Oh, now it wants me to check. Bear. Call that. This is where I'm like, okay, whatever. GTO wizard. Nah, it's not GTO wizard. It's peak GTO, but whatever. It might as well be GTO wizard. Ah, whatever. Cole. At this point, I'm just pressing buttons. That guy just what? That guy just with pocket sevens. Like if you were playing normally, that's such a like that's such a fishy play. Going only with sevens, bruh. Pocket sevens. Wants me to defend with sevens. That's pretty normal. Pocket seven, defending pocket seven. Now that's more understandable. Now that's more my leeway. And he bets big. 8, 7, 6, 5. 8, 7. I need two running cards, right? Mm, probably fold that, right? Yep. King seven suited. Yep. King seven suited, bro. Big blind defend on the cutoff. On the cutoff, yeah, fair enough. I'd probably would do, but not under the gun, bruh. Not under the gun. 5, 6 suited, like, come on, bruh. Alright, was that a blocker bet? I mean, I would call, right? But GTO probably wants me to bet semi bluff it. Top pair. No, it's just call. I have zero. I have like terrible equity if I do bluff at it, because I have no. I don't have a heart. I don't have a hearts in my hand. So bluffing is probably not a good idea. Oh, like 10? No, smaller. Because you want to make him call with the worst hand, I guess. But you lose value, right? Betting small like that, you lose value, right? But oh wait, it's perfect GTO I'm going up against, so. I bet you. Yep. I accidentally pressed call and it still wants me to call. Do I, like, oh my god, but I somehow hit a flop. This is not normal, guys. Wants me to bet bigger. Like, if you're playing proper poker, this would not be happening. Telling you that now. Do not try to implement. Do not try to implement GTO into your live games, because it's not gonna end well for you. You're just gonna lose your money, unless you have billions of dollars of buy-ins. Then yeah, why not just play? Because it's essentially pennies for you. Go all in. Like, who would call that? Who would call Ace King? I guess Ace King would call that. But come on, man. If this is perfect GTO, you know, like, okay, what are you beating? What bluff are you beating? What bluff would he be beating? What he's gonna be beating? Maybe zero bluffs there, right? Or they're playing with bluffs. I don't know. Okay, three bet that. There's no way you're ever calling. Just floating with what? I guess he float. I guess he folded. So that pocket seven, I swear to God, it said I should have folded, but it still played the hand. I think this app is bugged. It's not that good. Ace queen offsuit, probably just a call, right? Nope, it's a fold. My bad. I can say three bet on the small blind. My bad. I should have known that H queen offsuit was a fold. Raise 10. I guess he folded that. Raise 3. Check. If he bets that, that's pretty scary. This kind of board. Check. Nope. He wants me to bet smaller. Like very tiny. I guess for like fold equity. I guess. Okay, but now he calls. So do I check now? Do I? No, he wants me to pot size bet now. Now he wants me to pot size bet. Now why would I be pot sizing bet that after he called 1.6? When he just called with whatever hand he had? Well, yeah, I don't understand the sizing. Well, it's not just the sizing. It's like post flop. I don't understand post flop. That's probably what I'm not understanding. Wow, am I supposed to call this? Why am I calling 65 suited? Like, why am I calling that? I don't understand. Now he wants me to. No, I'm not donking. Thought I was donking. No, I'm on the button, so I'm not donking. Who tells people you want to play 65 suited on the button or on the small blind? Like, against under the gun. Like, come on, bruh. Now he wants me to call. What is this? This position now? Against low jack, against the low jack, you want to call pocket queens on the hijack? What? What? So you call pre-flop and then post-flop 10-9-5. You want to overbet? I guess like what? So if there's an ace or a king on the board, how much would you bet then? Would you just what the heck? Would you just check if there's an ace or king on the board? Or you'd bet smaller? But why would you call? Maybe you have like ace x suited, king x suited maybe. But like, you have pocket queens, bro. What? Why are you freaking calling pre-flop and then overbetting on the flop? I don't understand that. That's not in my vocabulary. Okay, so I'm either betting pretty big or all in. So I guess smaller, right? Nope. He wants me to bet big. I don't understand it. So if the guy calls your overbet, what is he calling you with? Watch, go all in. No, he wants me to check. Check back. He's 10. But how would you know he has ace 10 suited though? On the low jack for you to just call? Like, what the heck are you supposed to do, bruh? Okay, last hand. What was that? That was low jack, right? Low jack against hijack. I'm gonna check something out later. Cool. Man, this Jonathan Little like loves his freaking suited hands, bruh. Loves his suited hands. Doesn't matter what position you are, as soon as you have suited hands, it wants you to call. That's crazy to me. No, you just call, right? Nope, he wants me to bet big. 3-bet. Now I understand why you wanna 3-bet. That's pretty standard. Now you wanna keep betting, right? 18. Yep. See, this I understand, not the other ones. I understand it, but I don't know why you're doing it. Probably wants me to go all in. Yep. Why would you go all in, bruh? Like, and he just caught you with pocket tens. Bluffing, turn probes. Yep. Exactly the same as I had last time. Except before it was 50%. But my leaks are still bluffing. Turn probes. I don't know what turn probes are. Like floating the turn. Guess that's what that means. And see betting opportunities. Yeah, I understand. I never have bluffs in my hand. I don't know how to play float the turn because I don't know post flop. I'm not that good. Not good at all. And my C bet, and that's part of why I can't do that. It is because my C betting opportunities aren't that good. Let's see here. Pre-flop, I'm okay at 91, 93%. 91, R5. I mean, that's pretty, it's easy to memorize R5. But that's literally all I know. Anything else? Post flop is super weak. I have zero bluffing. Post flop is terrible. Wait, what's the difference between post flop and flop? What? On the turn, it's a bit better apparently. Facing turn aggression. Get apparently perfect. But I'm pretty sure they were like very normal. Guess turn aggression. It'd most likely be pretty polarized, right? So against aggression is a bit easier to decide rather than decisions on the post flop. I don't know. I'm just saying random shit. On the river, aggression. So I know. So against aggression, I'm pretty good. But it's just my aggression personally. My 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 own aggression is pretty weak. That is why I'm not good at bluffing. Turn probes are trash, and my C betting are trash. 20% river aggression, post up fundamentals, or river score. Betting, playing value hands. I guess I'm not that good at playing value hands either. Versus 3 bets. Yeah, I guess 3 bets are pretty weak. Playing versus limps. What? I thought I played perfectly. I guess that was pre-flop. Post-flop score, single raise pots. I guess I didn't play that good either. Let's be delayed C bets. Delayed C bets? Was timing part of the game? Good for you. Play the big blind score. Now, these are actually fairly high. Not because me personally I would play those hands. It is because GTO loves playing its suited hands. That is why. Pre-flop, pretty good. R5, you get 3 betting opportunities, good. Versus opens are good. Middle position limps are good. Turn aggression, river aggression, playing versus opens. So these things that are fairly easy to decide on, I'm fairly good at. But the more intricate things like facing C bets, um, playing the boards, delayed C bets, I guess, like part of C bets. 3 bets, the turn, post flop, value hands, continuation bets. You know, the more intricate things I struggle with, especially my bluffing, turn probes, and my c betting opportunities. Those are like what I struggle with. Um, Pre-flop 91%, flop 46, turn 42, river 29. Leak finder. All right. That's hand histories. I can look at the hand histories, right? Uh, so I can look at these. Doesn't show the sizing either. It should show the sizing. Oh no, it says right there. Yeah, raise 12. Yeah, it says right there. Frequencies and EV. Okay. What did I which ones was I like what? I didn't understand. Okay, so I guess I gotta go next. Next. So I started King 7. This one, I swear to God, I saw this was supposed to be a fold. Oh, that's why it said. That's why it looked like it said I should have folded. Because it was like in between folding and raising. Okay, I understand. That makes sense. Yeah, but it's like it's not by that much. Like look at the EV loss. It's not that much. What else can we look at? Oh my goodness, this video has been ages. Alright. What else is there? King Jack. Ace Jack. Yeah, I don't even remember which hands they were. Yeah, this 10-8. I don't understand this one. So call the pre-flop and then call and then fold the flop. Yeah, I understand how much you're losing, but you called pre-flop and then hit the flop. Why are you folding now? If you're gonna do that, just fold it. Mm. Check it. Yeah, like 6-5 suited. Come on, man. Oh no, I hit the 5. So that's yeah. GTO is kind of weird. I don't understand it, but it's cool that it shows you things. To go back. All right, so now I know my league, and that's bluffing. Um, Turn something, and then C betting opportunities. Those are my main 3 leagues.
Welcome to day 2 of the Cash Game Challenge. Yesterday, you went through the Cash Game Leak Finder and we found your leaks. And today, you're going to train 25 hands on your biggest leak. And after going through these 25 hands and taking a look at how the solver would play these spots, you're going to have a much better idea of how you should play this common situation that you are currently messing up. So go through, train these 25 hands, and make a point to improve one of your poker weaknesses.
Cool. Now we actually get to see the problem and how we improve on. So that's cool. And let's do this. would be C betting probably the um most important for me right now. How would I forehand, forehand, forehand. Which one do I choose? Single raise pot, three bet pot, three bet pot. Small blind versus the big button. Uh, Low jack versus the big blind. Button versus the low jack. So which ones do I do here? Cutoff versus big blind. Um, I mean low jack against low jack it should be fairly easy, right? Because they're gonna be fairly tight. Because you're not really raising low jack that much. You're not raising that wide. So I guess that might be the easiest one to do. But I am playing out of position though, so that's gonna make it tougher. Should I play button versus the low jack? Yeah, maybe I want to play in position. I want to practice in position. And announces John Little. It's a 3-bet pot though. 3-bet pots though. I don't know about 3-bet pots. I think I just want to do single raise pots. Yeah, I think I just want to keep it simple. Cutoff versus the big blind. Low jack versus the big blind. So, would I be the one in low jack? Button. Then 3-bet. So I'm in the button. I'm in the low jack. I'm in the small blind. I'm in the cutoff. Let's say low jack versus big blind. Cutoff versus big blind. Okay, let's say cutoff because low jack I should be playing super tight. But since I'm playing GTO, let's play cutoff so I can play it's a bit better, easier for me to understand because it would be most likely be a lot wider, playing much wider. All right, cut off. All right, so 6-6-4, two clubs. I would bet small, right? Yep. Okay. Oh, between a check and a small bet and some big bets also. All right. Hello. Are you gonna move on? Yeah. This is also really really slow. It's been an hour. Come on. Oh, he three bets. Alright, he's calling with ace 6, ace 4. Just call, I guess. It's so slow. Why is it so slow? I think it's because it's trying to calculate. It's not a. What is it? It's not a pre solved one where you have to do it differently. Um, I just check, right? The mofo literally 3-bet me, but I still want to keep betting. Yeah, I don't understand this. Oh wait, did he? Oh no, he's in the big blind, so he check raised me, right? But on the turn, if it when he checks, I want to bet. It's a fold, right? It's a call, bruh. Like, what was he? What was I bidding there? I guess there's a bunch of bluffs, but like, what? I don't understand it, yo. I gotta play 25 hands, bruh. Oh, I don't want to play 25 hands. Cause like, to me, it's just stupid for me. Like, why would you? I don't understand. Check. No, still bet. So when you have the best hand, you don't wanna bet. Sometimes when you have the nuts, sometimes you don't wanna bet because you wanna give them free card. But sometimes you do wanna bet. I don't understand. I don't understand. Ace ten off. And the freaking game is so slow. Like, hello? Can you play a bit faster? So I have to do this for 25 hands? Are you freaking kidding me? Yeah, I don't think I can play this. I guess my phone can't run it. It's too advanced. Because it's calculating too many things, I guess. So it's just very slow. I guess that's the problem. Yeah, the game's just very slow calculating things. Ah, see, error getting post-up data. Yeah. So my phone can't run it. Yeah. Well, I guess I'm not playing it. Hold on, let's see if it keeps working. If now it works. It's just too slow. Yeah, I'm gonna just like. I guess I can't do the 15-day challenge. I guess. See, I don't even know what happened just then. Now I wanna check, bruh. What? On the big blind, what is he? What? What can he be calling with? Wait, what? Just before he wanted me to fold. Ah, my goodness. I think it's not GTO that I'm having trouble with. I think it's this application. Like, pretty sure it's the application, bruh. It's application problems or my device problem. I don't know, man. Okay, that's a fold. If anything, if that wasn't a fold, if that was anything but a fold, I'm gonna lose it. Like, what the heck? Probably bet small, right? Nope. Still checking. Still freaking checking. Whatever. I'm negative 55. Yeah, that's about right. My ROI is like negative 50%. That's about right. That's pretty normal for me. 50%, -50. See, again, it's slow as frick. Yeah, I'm not playing this game no more. It's too slow. I can't run it. The video is already too long. Let's pretend I did that. Using theory to improve.
For day 3 of the cash game challenge, I want you to go through 2 drill of the days. We're going to be discussing first how to play high EV spots where you are simply in good shape and you're trying to get money into the pot. Very often in cash games, a lot of players play a little bit too cautiously or scared, or they simply don't use bets that are large enough for their particular scenario. And I want to make sure that you are playing these spots amazingly well with all types of hands in your range. Also, we're going to be discussing another spot today where you have to play bottom pair from the big blind. So someone's going to raise, you're going to call, the flop's going to come here, bottom pair, and it's a tricky spot. Sometimes bottom pair always continues against a bet. Sometimes it even puts in the check raise. Sometimes it simply folds to a bet. And learning how to navigate this tricky spot is going to go a long way to helping you improve your cash game skills. Hope you learn a ton.
All right. Okay, let's see that. Justin Saliba. That last name's recognizable. Raise. I'd fold. But whatever, again, GTO. Loves its Sunit connectors. Or a bit small. Nope. Oh, again, I was gonna go for that, but I changed my mind.
So in this spot, with 9 of clubs, and really with our entire range, we want to go with a big flop c-bet size. The reason for that is that we're playing a 10-6-5 rainbow board, and we have to think about what that does for our overall range. Well, our overall range has a large nut advantage here, and equities are going to run quite close. The board's also quite dynamic and going to be changing with any overcard, board pairing, or straight completing card. And so on these types of boards, we want to push that nut advantage right away. Say, hey, I have more jacks plus than you. I have more a good 10x than you. I have all the sets. I'm going to go ahead and go with a 70% flop c-bet size with my with most of my betting range, and I'm going to bet at a very high frequency because of that nut advantage.
Yeah, that way of thinking is very, very sound, right? Oh my goodness, all this playing high EV spots. So many drills. Wow. Yeah, I totally. Yeah, totally. How do I exit? Do I press continue? Yeah. I understand why you would do that. That's kind of cool that you did that. So now you want to keep betting, right? Pot size? Yep. What now?
So on this turn, the first question we need to ask is how good is this turn card for us? And if we think about what happened on the flop, we went with a big c-bet size because we had that nut advantage. On the jack, we retained the nut advantage, and we also just turned a bunch of top pairs that the opponent can't have. So the jack is what I would call a very high EV turn for us. High EV turns are going to lead to a large amount of aggression. If we compare
the video
is
way too high of quality, that's why it's struggling.
Spades, we're going to be wanting to barrel a ton more often on the jack than on the 2. We're betting with most of our range again on the turn. That's how good of a card it is for us. And with the 9-8 of clubs, we have tons of equity here. We can just go ahead and go for a big size again. Once again, we retain the nut advantage, so there's really there's no real merit to sizing down and keeping him in. When we have hands like queens, kings, aces, ace-jack, king-jack, etc., we just want to be putting a lot of money in the pot here. 5, 6s, etc. So let's go for that big bet size. Let's understand that we're going with that big bet at a very high frequency, and this hand's going to fit really nicely into that range because we get a lot of good, a lot of better hands to fold, obviously, and we also have the potential to make the nuts.
Yeah, again, very sound advice. But in a real game, does not apply. That is why, as a learning point, as a foundation, GTO is very good, but doesn't really translate into real games. Okay, now there's a deuce. Would you size down? Or you check, right? No, you'd probably. Okay, so you would check. Okay, that makes sense. You would check. Yeah,
So on the river, we once again have to decide how good of a river this is for us. And if you think about how aggressive we were on the flop and the turn, the deuce brick on the river is not a good card for us. We barreled with tons of overcards, tons of draws, and everything just bricked there. We don't have the 3-4 suited, unfortunately. And so from this spot, we really just have our Jack X advantage and our overpair advantage. But we have tons of air in this spot. And so when you get rivers that are brickish like this and you lose the equity advantage because the opponent just had the ability to fold to two big streets of aggression. So we've really condensed the opponent's range. If we think about what properties we want in cards that we want to go for it here and go for that third barrel, potentially just with this all-in size, the number one thing is that we do not want to block the auto folds. There aren't going to be cards in our hand here that where we can be like, oh, we're blocking the nuts, right? Because anything that is going to be blocking the nuts in this kind of spot, like a 5 you can imagine, well, just a random 5 or 6 can just check and show down. So blocking the nuts isn't really possible or useful as a thought in game when deciding if we should bluff here or not. What's really useful here is, are we blocking any auto folds? And the 9-8 of clubs absolutely is blocking ace high flush draw and some king high flush draw auto folds that we really want the opponent's range to have. So when we have the 8 and 9 of clubs in our hand, it's waiting our opponent's range to have more top pair, more 2-pair, more traps, etc. We need to go ahead and knuckle this one back, take our medicine and lose the pot. You don't always need to fight for the pot. You don't always need to try to win this exact pot. Let's just play as precise as possible, and this is not going to be a good spot to follow through here.
That thinking is brand new to me. That's why I didn't really understand it. So that thinking is definitely brand new to me. How do I exit this now? This is so stupid. So there's no continuation bet anymore. Start draw. Oh, that was the same man. Oh, I was supposed to press continue. How many games do I have to play this? High EV spots? Yeah, I was supposed to play high EV spots, right? Bottom pair from the big blind. Okay, let's play one. This is multi RFI. Oh, this is multiple people. What? See, if you're calling this, I'm out. Eight five suited. I guess yeah. It's up there with the suited hands. Yeah, I guess it would be pretty up there. I don't know. Still, man, that's hard to memorize though. 8-5 suited. Like that's pretty hard to memorize. Like, oh, 8-5 suited at the bottom. Cool.
In today's drill of the day, the cutoff raises to 3 big blinds in a cash game, 100 big blinds deep, and we call in the big blind with the 8-5 of diamonds. This is a spot where you don't want to defend too incredibly wide in a cash game with no ante against a 3 big blind raise. 8-5 suited is about as bad as you can call with. Flop comes king of clubs, 7 of diamonds, 5 of spades. Gives the bottom pair,
I was literally about to explode.
Straight draw. You're going to check your entire range, and then the opponent bets tiny. 2 big blinds. This is a spot where they should not be betting all that often, only about a third of the time, mixing between a larger size of 4.6 big blinds or so and 2 big blinds. This is a scenario where you are going to connect okay with this board because you have a lot of medium connected cards, so they just can't bet every single time. And they should be checking back with a lot of medium strength hands like King 4, pocket queens, ace highs, total junkers like Queen 10. So you should expect a lot of checks in this situation. That said, when they do bet 2 big blinds, with your 8-5 suited, you have a pretty easy call. That really is the only option. The hands that want to raise are going to be hands that are almost always good, but vulnerable and draws. So the question becomes, is this bottom pair a draw, quote unquote draw, that wants to raise? And it turns out 5-3 and 5-4 raise a little bit at the time. Not a lot, but a little bit. Whereas 6-5, 8-5, Queen 5, and Ace 5 call every time. Typically, you'll find that GTO takes the weakest kickers and raises those a large chunk of the time for bottom pair, but not the better kickers. And here I think a lot of people may get confused thinking 8-5 is bottom pair junky kicker. Or they may think that it has extra equity, so you should be inclined to raise it. But it turns out, in GTO world, 8-5 suited raises only 5% of the time, which is basically never. So this is a spot where you check and call.
Yeah. Like, what are you supposed to do with that, bro? 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. That's all I have is a gotcha, right? 9, 8, 7. Yeah, 6. 6 and a 6 only. That's crazy, bro.
The turn is the 9 of spades.
I've been playing
check,
super
and then the opponent blasts it. Pot. 10.5 big blinds. And I think a lot of people look at the 8-5 suited in this spot and think, well, they're blasting it, so I should fold. And that would be a mistake. It turns out your bottom pair with a random 8 kicker is very live because, well, you have a gut shot, right? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But also, if you get a 5, it's almost always good. And if you get an 8, it's going to be good a lot of the time. This is a situation where if you don't have the gut shot to go along with your pair, you should be folding. Like 5-4 and 5-3 are folding if you do not check raise them on the flop. Queen 5 is folding, so 5 with a better kicker. 10-7 without a flush draw is folding as well. So having this gut shot is very, very valuable. You're pretty much never folding a hand that has an 8 or a 6 in it, except for exactly pocket 8s and pocket 6s, which is kind of interesting. Those are folding because they just have fewer outs. But if you do have a pair on the board with a gut shot, you are sticking around. You're playing equity. All kings continue as well, although King 10 is already mixing in and folds in this spot, which seems a little bit tight. So I know it feels gross to check and call from out of position with bottom pair and a gut shot, but it's very often the right play. Facing this pot size bet, by the way, you're not going to raise very often at all. You're only raising with the absolute best made hands plus some draws. And draws in this situation are 10-8, 8-7 for pair and straight draw, and 6-4, which you really don't have these very, very often at all. So this is a spot where we're not raising frequently at all against the big bet. When you're facing a huge bet, you just don't do much raising and you do a decent amount of calling with, hands that are okay.
This one's a bit better because it actually explains things. So the other ones that were like what like what the heck, but at least with this one he kind of explains it, which is much better. But still, 8-5 suited, bruh. That's kind of weird, bruh. That's like some Jack 4 shit. And then he pots it again. Like, what are you supposed to do with that? That's a brick, right? So you just fold against a brick? Okay, you do.
Pretty brick, 2 of diamonds. We check everything, and then the opponent goes for a 31.5 big blind bet, a pot size bet. This is a scenario where GTO is betting about 55% of the time in the opponent's shoes, ranging from small, 50-ish% pot, that's about the smallest you should go in position, all the way up to all in. But the 31 big blind bet is used about 20-ish% of the time. So, question becomes, do we call this 8-5 for bottom pair and gut shot, or do we fold it, or do we raise it? And in GTO world, you mix all three, with folding being preferred. Folding's obviously the most logical, reasonable option because you have bottom pair and you don't beat any value bets. In scenarios where you don't beat any value bets, you want to ask, is my 8 good or bad for me? And I think it's not that good in this spot. I mean, just thinking about the hands the opponent should bluff. If they were sitting here with 10-8, they should bluff sometimes. If they did have Queen 8 or Jack 8, they should bluff sometimes. But they actually don't have Queen 8, 10-8, or Jack 8 very often at all. So in that scenario, because that blocker is not that relevant, because your opponent just doesn't have it in the range very often, then it doesn't matter so much. This is a scenario where even kings are mixing between calls and folds. I would be pretty call happy in the spot with a hand like.
By the way,
King,
I have no
Jack.
idea what the hell he's talking
GTO's
about.
folding about half the time for top pair.
So you can.
But I do think
explain
some
it,
players will value bet.
The player doesn't
weaker
know these
than
things.
King,
You won't understand
Jack.
it. That's why
For this size, if they
like
are
really,
playing
really
live
tough.
poker,
You need to have
especially.
very foundation.
So I would definitely not go around folding.
You need to have
a hand
a
like
great ability
that.
of understanding
Interestingly
GTO
enough,
to
even
understand
pocket
these
twos
things.
is only raising about half
right now,
the
it's
time.
just
It calls half the
babbling
time, it
on,
raises half the time.
just saying random shit.
In GTO world, your opponent should just be super strong when they take this line of bet flop, blast turn, blast
That's probably
river.
why it's tough to play
And
poker.
for that reason, when they're very polarized, you typically want to call with hands
Unless
that
you just
don't
play your hand.
block their bluffs, and ideally hands that block their value. And in this spot, it seems like none of our cards are all that relevant. So for that reason, we're mixing with a lot of our bluff catchers. And I would err towards folding in this situation in general. With the bottom pair, I mean, I think that's probably obvious. But I do want to make it clear that if your opponent is over bluffing, if they will take, in this scenario, let's say every single queen, jack, queen 10, jack 10, ace X, and bluff it, the 8-5 is going to become a super easy call. So as your opponents are crazier and crazier, don't be afraid to find hero calls in this spot.
Why would you tell them to make hero calls if you're trying to teach them GTO? See, I don't understand. This is how people get into trouble, bruh, with money, bruh. Just teach them one philosophy. Don't try to, sometimes you want to do this, you want to make hero calls. In GTO, that's never a hero call, bruh. Just teach them one thing. Don't, mix and match them. That's how people get into trouble. That's what I don't really like about these poker coaching that they do. Any poker coaching. Unless it's a very specific style that they teach. But, trying to teach GTO, I don't know. Well, I think this is the last one, right? What is this? Study this spot. No, I don't want to study this spot right now. I should be, but the video is just way too long. Pre-flop bet sizing. I'm pretty sure this is his older ones. No, it's a new one. Never mind.
Let's first discuss pre-flop bet sizing. It's important to note that
hold on.
in most small...
But so far, the things that they're teaching is pretty good. Even if I don't really understand it fully.
Let's first discuss pre-flop bet
it's kind of weird
sizing.
I don't know.
It's important to note that
And how
most
the
small
app
stakes games,
works.
especially
But it's
live,
probably just my device.
some of your opponents will make egregiously large raises. You may find an entire table where everyone makes really, really big raises. It is quite common to play small stakes live games like 1-2 no limit, where the raise that every player makes is to something like $15, 7.5 big blinds. Understand that most players in most small stakes games are losing at poker. So why would you possibly want to model your strategy after losing poker players? It makes no sense. And you may say, but if I raise smaller, a lot of people will call me. Fine. You want them calling you with the 9-5 offsuit and the ace-6 offsuit. That is good for you because they're going to be giving you lots of money post-flop. You're going to find that you're going to have to become quite comfortable playing multi-way pots in loose, splashy, small stakes games. And that is A-okay. So, when you are 100 big blinds,
that's not good for your bankroll,
you're
though.
That a pot size raise
you gotta your limits.
Ideal. Now, certainly you may find games where you can raise a little bit.
It's technically good, but for your bankroll, it's not good for your bankroll.
Raise with the exact same range, they're going to call
but they don't tell you that. They don't say, "Oh, if you don't have the bankroll,"
and if you
they just expect you to be rich,
incredibly loose, then maybe you can raise.
So, like I said, GTO in theory it's good, but
what's going to happen is that anyone who is
in practice
trying to
it's
actually
not.
win a poker is going to start folding out the absolute junk that they may call a smaller raise with, and you don't really mind.
Oh my god, this video is gonna be 2 hours long,
especially if they're going to be making post-flop errors as well. So a pot size raise. Here's the formula: it's 3 times the last bet plus any additional money in the pot. So let's say someone raises to 3 big blinds. If you want to re-raise, how much are you going to make it? Well, 3 times the last bet, which was 3. 3 times 3 is 9, plus any additional money in the pot, which would be the small blind and the big blind. 1.5. So we have 9 plus 1.5. That is 10.5. That is a pot size raise in that spot. And when you're out of position, you're going to want to make it 1 unit larger. A unit is usually this last bet.
Can I zoom
in
a bit? No, I cannot.
It's a pot size raise in that spot. And when you're out of position, you're going to want to make it 1 unit larger. A unit is usually this last bet. So in that spot, against a 3 big blind raise, 3 times the 3 big blind raise plus small blind big blind, that's 10.5 plus an additional 3, make it something like 14.5 from out of position when you're in the big blind or the small blind. So let's go through an example.
Wait, what?
How much is a pot size raise when you are facing 3 limpers? Pause the video, fill in the blanks, figure out the amount.
6?
Well, we're going to have 3 times the last bet, which is 1 limper. There are 2 more limpers plus the small blind and the big blind, right? Which comes out to 6.5 big blinds.
3,
Whenever
4,
you're facing
5, 6,
3 limpers,
yeah.
you're going to want to make it roughly 6.5 big blinds. To be fair, maybe you're going to want to make it a little bit more. I can be okay making a little bit more when you're facing limpers. When the pot is really small, you often want to use slightly bigger bet sizes, and as the pot grows, you often want to use slightly smaller bet sizes, and that's because whenever the pot's small, you need to grow the pot so that you can get all your money in the pot if you feel inclined. And once the pot's already big, you're not so concerned with growing the pot because the pot's already big. Let's go through another one. What's a pot size raise when someone raises to 4 big blinds and someone else calls? Fill in the blanks. Go ahead. Well, we have 3 times 4 plus 4 plus 0.5 plus 1. 3 times 4 is 12 plus 4 is 16 plus 1.5 is 17.5 big blinds. Okay? Simple pot size raise formula. And if we were out of position here, we'd put an additional 4 big blinds on top. We'd make it 21.5 roughly. Okay. As stacks get shallower, you're going to see that you usually want to use smaller raise sizes. I'm not going to go through and read this entire chart, but in general, if a raise would put in more than 30% of your stack or so, you should probably go all in. Now in cash games, I realize you're usually going to be playing with the 100
They're very specific, 0.5 big blinds, like, just make it simple, bro.
30 big blind stack will re-raise to 7 big blinds or something
like
that.
Then 3.2, 3.3, come on, bro, just keep it
simple. You're going to be
simple.
putting them all in. You're not going to re-raise back to 22 big blinds over their 7 big blind raise, leaving them 8 or 9 big blinds behind. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it doesn't.
All right?
That's understandable.
So, go through, take a look at the chart. This essentially says what I've already said, except you're going to use slightly smaller sizes as your stack gets shallower and shallower, or as your opponent's stack gets shallower or shallower. Okay? Also, you're going to find that with 10x the last raise size or fewer chips in your stack, going all in at least becomes reasonable, especially with hands like ace king or pocket queens, stuff like that. So if you raise to, let's say, 3 big blinds, someone 3 bets to 9 big blinds out of their 40 big blind stack or 50 big blind stack, there you have something like 5 times the initial raise or less, or the last raise or less, right? And then you can just put them all in. Okay? It's very, very important to realize that in some spots, you just have to be willing to get it all in before the flop, especially if your opponents are playing shallow stacked. I realize, again, in cash games, very often you will be playing deeper stacked, but in my experience playing recently online, we were playing with some shallower stacked some portion of the time. So let's discuss exploitative pre-flop bet sizing really quick before we move forward. I didn't actually do any of this in the games that I played, except I would often raise a little bit larger with my bluffs. Because when I was playing online, I saw that if I raise a little bit larger with my bluffs, I got a little bit more fold equity, I think. And I saw if I raise a little bit smaller, or at least to a normal size, I would get a typical amount of calls. And if you can raise a little bit bigger and get a decent amount more fold equity, it's actually pretty good whenever you are bluffing. That said, against strong players, people who you have tagged as good winning players, you're going to want to use the same bet sizes in all scenarios because you don't know how they're going to react to various bet sizes, and you want to do everything you can to just keep your opponent guessing. If your opponents don't know what you are doing, then they are inevitably going to be forced to play a GTO strategy. And if you play closer to game theory optimal than them, you will win money in the long run no matter what they actually do incorrectly. Against your bad opponents, though, you should maximally exploit them. When I say bad, people can be bad in all sorts of ways. For example, if you're against a calling station who will call any preflop raise size, raise bigger with your best hands and just bloat the pot, right? If your opponents are going to call preflop raises with all sorts of nonsense, then you want to make the pot as big as you reasonably can while still keeping their range wide. A lot of people take this concept way too far, though. They will raise to 10 big blinds preflop with the nuts and 3 big blinds preflop with everything else. But what happens is their calling station opponent starts folding out a lot of the marginal-ish hands like ace-9 offsuit to a 10 big blind raise, which are the exact hands you really want to keep in when you have ace-queen offsuit, right? So I think a lot of people take this concept a little bit too far. So for the most part, I'm not really making too big of adjustments unless it's really clear to me that my opponents are going to be calling a ton. And if that's the case, I'm going to be raising with just better hands in general. So not quite as many, call them bluffs pre-flop, while also using a slightly bigger size. That said, you're going to find a lot of people are habitual folders. I mentioned this earlier. There were plenty of spots in the games that I played where a few people would limp and I would raise to a little bit more than the size of the pot, and they'd all fold very frequently. The limpers were looking for a reason to find a fold. And if they're looking for a reason to fold, make it a little bit bigger, give them bad pot odds, and give them a reason to get out of the way. So if your opponents are going to fold frequently, it certainly could be fine to raise a little bit bigger. I did not experience any spots like this in the game, but say they fold you on the button, and you know that the player in the big blind will call a 3 big blind raise almost every time, but will fold to a 5 big blind raise almost every time. It could be a really good strategy to make it 5 big blinds with all of your garbage and 3 big blinds with all your good hands. I know this sounds overly simplistic and very exploitable, and to be fair, it is, but if your opponents are not paying attention or they just have no sample of hands on you, then you're going to maximally exploit them. Now, of course, if they have no sample of hands on you, then you have no sample of hands on them. So be careful that you do not assume you know what your opponents are doing until you actually have some idea. But you certainly will encounter players who are playing a very basic form of poker where you raise bigger, they fold everything. You raise smaller, they call everything. And if they are making errors one way or the other in those spots, you can certainly take advantage of them. So make sure you are paying attention to what your opponents do pre-flop and that you adjust to maximally exploit them.
Cool. Alright, cool. Let's do the bet sizing quiz. Let's try this out. If it works, it's still right. Yep. From out of position, should you raise larger, smaller, or the same amount compared to when you are in position? From out of position, raise larger. Correct. When I make the pot larger, when you are out of position to decrease the stack to pot ratio, making position less impactful. The low jack and hijack limp. You want to raise from the button. How much should you make it? 3, 6. So like 3. Okay, 3. 5. 5.5. Yep. I would never add the 0.5. I would never add that unless it's an open raise. I usually like doing 2.5 instead of 3. Opening for the pot. Low jack raises to 3 big blinds and the card of calls. You want to 3-bet from the button. How much should you make it? You want to make it fairly small, right? I usually like it 9, but maybe the game wants me to make it like 10.5. But I would usually make it 9. Yep. Like I thought 10.5. Oh no, actually 13.5. Interesting. A bit bigger. So 3 plus 3.5 plus 1. Yeah, I'm not good with fucking stuff like that. 2 out of 3. Few questions. Alright. Proof up export raising wider than GTO charts. Let's do that one.
Now let's go through some basic pre-flop strategies to ensure you are playing reasonable ranges. From early position, which means you're first to act or second to act, you're going to have to play very tightly. And that's because you have to worry about everyone else at the table waking up with a hand and them having position on you. So this chart here is an under the gun raise first in strategy, which means that when they fold to you, you raise. This is actually under the gun, 8-handed. So you're first to act. Everyone has folded to you because there's no one before you. So this is what you are going to raise first in. Notice that in this chart we have the hands in red that are raising and the hands that are blue that are folding. There are no hands that are limping. We're not doing any of that. So we are raising the hands in red, folding the hands in blue. You may be shocked to see that hands like pocket 7s, pocket 6s, pocket 5s, etc. These hands all down here are folding. These are not good enough to raise. Assuming your opponents play well. Same thing with ace-jack offsuit, ace-10 offsuit, king-jack offsuit mostly folds, queen-jack offsuit, ace-2 suited, jack-9 suited, 9-8 suited. And I realize that this is a tight strategy. And it's probably a tighter strategy than I will recommend. We'll discuss widening your range in just a minute. But it's important to note that when you are in early position and have a lot of people yet to act, you simply must play tightly. A big blunder a lot of people make in live cash games from early position is they start limping with all sorts of nonsense. Or they raise with hands like 10-7 suited because they want to see the flop. You must have discipline. You must play well if you want to win money at poker.
Like ace
as
X
your
suited
position
is more
improves, as you get into later
struggle
positions, you
folding,
can start to widen your range
where
some.
making
So
you feel
here's
like
the
it's not good
hijack.
enough for raising.
First in range.
It's not good enough for raising, but limping is never a good decision, you know. So you're like in between those two things. Like I can't raise this because it's trash, but I also cannot limp this because limping is never a good idea. So it's usually just a fold, right? That's my struggle with decision wise.
The hijack is well, let's talk about the positions. We have the big blind, then we have the small blind, then we
like 10-7 suited. That's an easy fold.
have the button, then we have the cutoff, then we have the
I don't know anyone who would like
hijack.
teach that.
So
like,
this would be second position
that.
at a 6-handed table. We see this player gets to raise more hands, but still perhaps tighter than you are used to seeing. We see ace-9 offsuit folding, jack-10 offsuit folding, 8-7 suited folding, pocket 4s folding. And again, it's because you have a lot of players yet to act. Okay? So you cannot be too insane even in the hijack seat. You may be a little bit surprised to see these King X suiteds starting to raise, but these hands are actually pretty reasonable. It turns out King X suited is a pretty good hand. From the button, this is where you start to be able to raise with a much wider range, with something like 50 or 55% of hands. That said, you can't go nuts. You can't raise 100% of hands, which is certainly what some players on the button do. And if you're raising 100% of hands on the button, you're going to be really easy to play against because your range is going to contain way too much garbage. And fortunately for you, we have the Poker Coaching app, which has all of these charts in them for 100 big blinds, 150 big blinds, and 200 big blinds in cash games, and then also shallower stacks for tournaments if you happen to be playing tournaments. The cash game charts presume there's a rake and no ante. The tournament charts presume that there is no rake and an ante. So you'll find that the tournament charts are substantially looser than the cash game charts. But in general, you have to play really tight from early position, and you can widen your range as you get in later positions. So I know all these charts so far, especially from all positions besides the button, have been really tight.
If you're playing with Ray, you would play a bit tighter.
I think they're too tight for most.
I guess ante, you can play
and
more.
I suggest that you widen your range.
But tournament, you
a little bit.
Never want to play
a little bit
loose.
When you expect to rarely get 3-bet. A 3-bet is a re-raise, by the way. This is a term that comes from Limit Hold'em. I don't know why this term stuck, but essentially, in Limit Hold'em, the big blind was the first bet, the raise was the second bet, and a re-raise would be a third bet, the 3-bet. We still call it this. So if you raise the 3 big blinds and someone makes it 9 big blinds, that is a 3-bet. Okay? In most live cash games, and to be fair, in most online cash games, you're not going to get 3-bet all that often. So if you're not going to get 3-bet all that often, you get to see the flop. And getting to see the flop is highly valuable because then you're going to be able to realize your equity better, meaning you get to see the flop, you get to see if you connect with the board. And it turns out seeing if you have something is very valuable, right? So if you expect to rarely get 3-bet, you can raise a little bit wider. And in general, suited hands are going to go up in value faster, let's say, than the off-suited hands, especially in games where you expect to get multiple callers, because the suited hands will sporadically make flushes, and flushes are really, really, really good. So let's take a look at this hijack range. If I thought I was rarely going to get 3-bet, how would I go about adjusting it? Well, I would raise all the queen-jack offsuit. Anytime you see one of these cells, by the way, that is roughly half full, that means half the time you're raising, half the time you're folding. So a queen-jack offsuit, I would raise it every time. I'd raise king-10 offsuit every time. I'd probably raise queen-jack offsuit every time. I would raise king-7 suited every time, king-5 suited every time, 10-9, or 10-8 suited, 9-8 suited, 8-7, 7-6, 6-5, 5-4, pocket 5s, 4s, 3s, 2s. So I would essentially take a lot of these hands that are using mixed strategies and just raise them every time. And then I may, raise a slightly wider right along this vicinity with these suited connectors. If you wanted to raise jack-8 suited and queen-8 suited, I would say sure. I don't think that's all that bad. The small pairs I would definitely raise because these hands do very well when they see the flop because they will flop the nuts sometimes when they flop a set. Now, you do not want to get carried away with offsuit hands. I realize a lot of people think that connectors are good, but it turns out hands like 8-7 offsuit are pretty bad. So these offsuit hands definitely do not want to get raised. If you're going to widen your strategy, do it with the suited stuff. You'd much rather have 10-7 suited than 10-8 offsuit, for example. So make sure you do not get too carried away widening your range, but if you are going to widen it, the suited hands and the small pairs are the hands that really want to start raising more often because they benefit from seeing the flop. And remember, you're widening your range because you expect to get to see the flop more often. Now, if your opponents are re-raising you, 3-betting you a lot, use the game theory optimal strategies. It's okay. If your opponents are going to play aggressively, your adjustment should be to just play the game theory optimal strategies and go from there. Reference the charts a lot until you know what they look like, and then adjust slightly to take advantage of what your opponent's doing correctly, which, again, exploitatively in most live cash games is going to be to not 3-bet often enough. We have examples of me using these strategies in small stakes online cash games. So after various parts of this video where we have a bunch of examples, we're going to show you a bunch of these examples to show you how I am going to be widening my range a little bit from the GTO range, at least in this spot, to take advantage of the fact that my opponents in my games were not 3-betting often enough. So take a look at that, and then you'll have some quizzes. Make sure you go through the quizzes, make sure you fully understand the concepts in these videos so that you can crush live cash games.
I wasn't even listening. He was just pretty much babbling on. That's pretty self-explanatory, right? Raising wider than GTO charts. These are self-explanatory stuff, right? Now we'll see if it is self-explanatory. Because now there's a quiz. Everyone votes to you in the cutoff and you decide to raise a bit wider than the GTO strategy. Which of the following hands is the most reasonable to add to your range? Multiple choice. A6 suited, 4 deuce, what? I guess 8-6 suited. Why would you play 4-2 suited, bruh? It's just multiple choice. I can only choose one. Okay, I guess I can only choose one. Playback should be raised against tight, straightforward opponents. In the low jack, you decide to raise a bit wider than the G2 strategy, which would find hands the most reasonable to add to your range. Same question. Huh? You're in the low jack. Ace-9 off? Ace-9 off, right? In the low jack? Probably not. No, yeah. King-7 off would be 2. 10-8 off. I don't think 10-8 off can be. 7-3 is definitely not. Let's say Ace-9 off. Okay. Well, none of these hands are especially amazing. Ace-9 off is the one that is the most playable. Makes sense. Most of them are pretty playable. I don't know about 10-8 off, but King-7 off is pretty playable. The hijack raises and everyone folds to you in the barn. You decide 3 bit wide in which you found. 3 betting range. King Jack off is probably 3 betting range, right? Yep. Functions well as a blocker bluff. Yep. Because there's less King X and Jack X in his hand. And I know people hate, when someone talks about blockers, that means they don't know nothing. Bro, like, what are you calling it then? Okay, disregard me saying blockers then. Okay, so he has less King X and Jack X in his hand. Okay. Now there's only 3 combos of Kings and 3 combos of Jacks in his hand. Okay. Oh, I probably didn't even say combos properly either. You know, frick it. I don't give a frick. Raising wider. Raising wider than GTO live play examples. Okay, this is a. How long is. Did I. Like, so far, they're pretty good. Maybe these ones aren't as good. Actually, yeah. These aren't. They're not. It's not. They're not. They're not dislikes. But they're not likes either. Nah, I'ma dislike it. Bet sizing, like, these are like pretty straightforward stuff. Like, come on, man. What are these? Live examples. This might be a bit different. Improve. I think I like this one. High EV spots. So this one was so weird. I can't play this one for some reason.
Welcome to day 2.
Yeah, this one is super. It's so slow. Can I redo this one again? Oh, I can't be bothered.
Of the cash game challenge.
If it was if it worked properly, I would. It's definitely a like. But it's not working for me, so. Okay, how's this one?
If your opponent has a hand worse than a jack, there.
Oh, it's in a live game. Okay.
You raise a 9-6 suited on the button. Maybe that's a little bit loose, but probably fine. You will note that I'm probably going to play a little bit looser than the GTO charts, especially from.
How long is this video? 7 minutes.
Because I think people do not play especially well from out of position. King 3 suited. Look, I don't think you have to raise this, but whatever. You know, I think if you're not going to get 3-bet a lot, it's fine and good to raise these hands pretty frequently. Well, we'll just bet. We're going to get called a lot here. He's going to have a lot of gut shot type hands that we'll call. Should we triple barrel? Probably not. I think we can easily check call the turn. I guess I'll call here with the 7-3 suited getting good odds.
I don't like multi-tabling, man. Just play one
Now, here's
table,
why the
man.
pot's 35 cents.
If you're a grinder,
Well,
yes,
then-
but
well,
if you're
it
trying to
should be
teach
30
someone,
cents, right?
play one
Am I
table.
missing something?
Like,
Is there an ante in play?
yeah, I can't watch this. I don't like streamers that plays multiple tables like that. Like, just play one table, man. Maybe 2 tables you can play, or just play Zoom. You know, people are like playing like 10 tables, and it's a Zoom version of it, Zoom format. Like, just play normal ones. Ah, finally. Ah, finished. I'm in day 5 now. Just gotta wait till tomorrow, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Completed it. Mark has completed. Yes. Then why does it still show continue watching? I've completed it. Gosh darn it, whatever. Ah, well, there we go. The 15-day challenge. If you wanna try it out, search up Poker Coaching by Jonathan Little, and it should just make an account and you should be good to go. Till next time.